Hello, and welcome to the ITpreneurs webinar on the next generation ITIL MALC. Before I continue, if you can hear us, could you use the chat function on the control panel to let us know?
Okay, Juan can hear us.
Yeah, great. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, and I will continue. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Connie Tai. I'm the Product Category Manager for ITIL at ITpreneurs. And I would like to start by thanking you all for joining us at this webinar. Our goal today is to introduce our next generation ITIL MALC, which is released this month here. To talk more about this course, we have with us Marcel Fudera, Master Trainer at ITpreneurs and co-author of this course.
Okay, thank you.
Marcel has more than 20 years experience in IT. He has performed strategic and tactical assignments in a wide variety of areas, and he has extensive experience in training delivery related to the IT service management international best practice in both the private and public sectors on a global scale. He also advises organizations on IT service management based on ITIL best practices and in the management of these initiatives to improve organizational and operational efficiencies and service delivery quality. The presentation section of this webinar will be approximately 30 minutes long, with time left for questions and answers. A copy of this webinar session will be provided after the webinar to all attendees. If you would like to ask questions to Marcel or me during the presentation, enter your question in the control panel area using the question functionality, and we will either respond during the presentation or answered during the Q&A session afterwards. At this point, I would like to hand over the session to Marcel. Enjoy your session.
Okay, thank you, Connie. Yeah, we have two Juans here online. Hopefully, more participants are going to join. But yeah, we are going to talk about the new MALC course, and that is going to be a very challenging course. Connie already introduced myself on this slide, so I don't have to do that all over again. What we are going to talk about in this webinar is what has been changed with the new MALC, the design of the course, what kind of consequences that is having for the instructors and the learners, the value proposition, and the most asked questions, and also other questions and hopefully also answers. So looking to the new MALC, APMG just released a publication, a document, where they made it even more clear that the Managing Across the Lifecycle course is positioned at a higher level than the normal intermediate courses like the Lifecycle and the capability modules. Managing Across the Lifecycle is another level, and that's called Advanced Level. When the Lifecycle or when the intermediate courses are going to have focus on each specific service lifecycle stage, like service strategy, service design, service transition, etc. The Managing Across the Lifecycle is going across the various lifecycle stages, and it creates a bird's eye view or a helicopter view across the various lifecycle stages and tries to manage, let's say, all the links and the relationships between the various lifecycle stages and the interfaces between the processes across the various lifecycle stages. So this MALC course is going across the whole lifecycle of a service. So the background of the 2011 MALC. MALC is the final step and the last step to get the ITIL expert qualification. It is more difficult the MALC course is more complicated. It requires a high level of understanding and application of the theory. And also the exam has been changed. When normal intermediate exams were 8 questions and 1.5 hour time for native English speakers, the MALC course is 2 hours, but they have to deal with 10 questions instead of 8. And also for the normal intermediate exams, all these questions are scenario based, no specific case study, but for MALC, the candidates have to deal with a specific APNG's MALC case study. The pass rate for this exam is also 70%, but then 70% of 50 points instead of 70% of 40 points. So this new course is based on the 2011 MALC Syllabus, which has a cross-lifecycle focus from the perspective of managing services across the whole service lifecycle and managing the practice of service management across the whole service lifecycle. So it takes the managerial and strategic perspectives across the whole lifecycle. And the level of difficulty of this course, of our course, is at Bloom's level 5, while the exam is having Bloom's level 4 and 5. We have made it more difficult for the students to increase the chance that they pass the exams. And this whole new course is based on scenarios. We are going to talk about theory for only less than 5% of the time. The rest is practical application, and that is really required to make the students well prepared for the exam, based on experience that we have had with delivering these types of courses. So the MALC course is not a traditional classroom course where you kill the whole course by PowerPoint slides and you lecture for 5 days in a row. It is not a series of slides presented one after the other. No, absolutely not. Of course, we have some slides, but again, that is less than 5% of the total time that we spend on time on explaining the theory and showing some slides. So the MALC course, the new MALC course, is real-life participative sessions based on scenarios, a series of scenarios, with a focus on applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating the situations that the students are dealing with by using the ITIL framework in the correct way. So the design of the MALC course, this slide shows you the official learning objectives, also from the MALC syllabus from APMG. In our course, although it's completely scenario driven, each scenario covers one or more of these learning objectives. So by going through the 5 scenarios, we cover all these learning objectives, which are the key concepts of the service lifecycle. We cover communication and stakeholder management aspects and the integration of service management processes across the service lifecycle and the management of the services across the whole service lifecycle. We also cover the giving direction and control via governance and organization, and how to stay in control via measurement and implementing and improving service management capabilities. And we also prepare the students for the APMG's MALC exam. So the course strategy is we keep the training real, practical, and interactive. This is not going to be a boring course. This is going to be a very challenging, interactive, dynamic course with a lot of interaction, a lot of communication, a lot of negotiation, a lot of presentations, and it is very, very dynamic. And the whole course is based on different scenarios. And for each scenario, the trainer is going to introduce the thinking points for learners. And what are the important elements to think about? And where do we find these elements? And the trainers are going to split up the class into various groups. And then the group start to prepare their assignments, their presentations. And that normally takes most of the time during a classroom course. And during the preparation time, the trainer supports these groups, these teams. He is acting as a coach and a facilitator via asking the right questions, and via these questions he can guide the students towards the right thinking process and the right solution. So the whole course structure is based on only 5% or even less theory, and the rest is the practical application of the theory. And at the end of the day, they have to show their solutions in a presentation. But all these scenarios, they are based on a new version of the Royal Chow Phraya Hotel. Looking to you, to the participants, let me check. I think most of the participants, they know the Royal Chow Phraya Hotel case study from the ITIL Foundation course and also all the ITIL intermediate courses. But that case study was a standalone hotel in Bangkok. But nowadays, looking to MALC, the situation has been changed because the management of the hotel decided to expand their business across the globe. So they recently acquired existing hotels in other cities like Hong Kong, Tokyo, Sydney, and the course location, the city where the course is. So the vision of the hotel management is to create a high quality hotel chain, so worldwide class and worldwide quality with local flavors. So for a hotel guest, it should not make a big difference whether he enters a hotel in Bangkok or enters the Royal Chow Phraya Hotel in Sydney, in Hong Kong, or in Tokyo, or in the city where the MALC course is. But as you can imagine, they just acquired these new hotels. So it's quite a museum when you look to the environment. Each hotel is decorated different. It has the other hotels are still having the old branding. The cultures are different. And also when you look to the IT organizations across the whole hotel chain, they are different. The organizations are different. The cultures are different. The processes are different. The services are different. The infrastructure is different. So they have to deal with a lot of challenges to align that across the whole hotel chain. And how to do that? We go through these 5 scenarios to create a total picture of how these 5 various IT organizations are going to be aligned in these 5 scenarios. And these 5 scenarios, they expand upon and applies content learned in intermediate courses. So in the old version of MALC, actually we used a lot of slides and we were repeating the theory again. But that doesn't make sense. The students, they went through the theory via the intermediate courses. They all have taken their exams. And now it is a matter of connecting the dots across the various life cycle stages and about the process interfaces across the whole service life cycle. And it should also be very obvious for students when you forget something in the strategic phase, what kind of negative consequences is that having for other stages of the service life cycle. For example, when you forgot something in the strategic phase, what kind of consequence is that having for the transition and for the service operation stage, for example? So all these scenarios, they also build on each other. So if you make a mistake in one of the early scenarios, then you will feel the pain later on and you have to pay for it. Not literally. I'm thinking about providing a budget, but that's something for the next version. So they should finalize the solution with a given budget. And if they made a mistake or forgot something in the beginning, they can get it fixed later on in the course, but then they have to pay a lot of money, something like that. But be sure, all these scenarios, they cover multiple MALC syllabus topics. So in total, when you went through all the 5 scenarios, You covered all the syllabus topics and the students are really well prepared for the exams. That is not that we think that it should work. No, that is also based on our experience that we have with delivering MALC courses based on a scenario approach. I must say that I delivered already many MALC courses, and in most of them, from the second time onwards, I used this scenario-based approach. Not with these specific scenarios, but with other type of assignments and scenarios. But that was so successful. So I must say, when you look to the worldwide pass results for MALC, overall for all education companies, training companies, it's pretty low. It is even below the 50%. In Japan, it's even under the 20% of students who pass the exam. But by using this scenario-based approach, and when I look to my deliveries, and not only my deliveries, also my colleague trainer in the US, Mike Costigan, with whom we developed this course, he also has very good experiences and we also achieved very high results with taking this scenario-based approach for MALC. So I must say, when I look to my deliveries, the results are between 90, 95 and 100% result of the students who pass the exam the first attempt. Some of them, they pass the second attempt, but most of them, they pass the first attempt. So this really works, absolutely. So looking to these 5 scenarios, the traditional MALC classroom course is 5 days. And when you look to these 5 scenarios, then per classroom day, we use one scenario. So on day number 1, we have a scenario focused towards a strategic assessment. You know, looking to the current hotel situation, especially the IT departments in the hotel chain, it is chaos. It is a museum with different organizational structures, different roles and responsibilities, different services, different processes, different infrastructures. So to make sure that at the end you are going to be aligned across the whole hotel chain, then you should do a strategic assessment first. Where are we now? And one part for that, to get that done, is the strategic assessment. The second scenario on day number 2 is about organizational challenges, critical success factors, and risks. The third one is the implementation plan. So how are we going to implement it? And the third one is to justify it for higher management. So does it deliver the return on investment? And that's the scenario to create a business case. And the last one, which is also a very important one, is you recognize when you are going to change the IT organization across the whole hotel chain, then you are going to influence the way people are used to work, and that results in a certain level of resistance. So that's that kind of aspects we cover in the managing strategic change scenario, the last one. And before you introduce the scenario to the teams, normally you split up the class into teams. You do a certain introduction as an instructor, but you are also supported by a video, which I wanted to share now. And when you look to the 2 characters in this video, the dark-haired guy is the son of the owner of the hotel named Harry. The bald-haired guy sitting here in this picture on the right-hand side is Jonas. He is playing the technical manager in the hotel. And during the course, also the instructor is going to play the role of Jonas, the technical manager. But just to give you an impression of this video, I want to show you this video. 1 sec.
You're doing a great job. You've invested your time well. Time, as I say, is money. So I
Oh, sorry.
should say you have realized the value of money.
Thank you, Harry.
Look at this. You spent time identifying risk, but that's not what I'm happy about. It's the risk mitigation plans that you have made that make me feel good. You seem to take things to their logical conclusion, although how you will implement it is yet to be seen. You had the foresight of seeing the opportunities and how we can take advantage of them. Your plans make me feel that the sky is the limit for us now. As James told me, he's proud of the hotel and proud of you for taking these steps. However, we must stay on top of things at all times. And take my words, measurements are exactly that. They will tell you what's happening on the ground. And I really want to know what's happening on the operations front.
Certainly, Harry. We'll take a deeper dive and get back to you.
In that case, please proceed. Didn't I tell you things would get back on track? Look at the playing field you have at your disposal. Anyways, measurements are important. They are the next thing that will keep my father happy. Remember to measure how we are progressing towards ISO and Green Key as well. Keep me posted at all times.
I will, Harry. We will definitely measure our progress towards the objectives, and please let me focus on the details. Hey, folks. Your risk mitigation plans have made Harry happy, and our opportunity analysis has made him, to use his own words, proud. And we got the go-ahead for the ITSM implementation plan. So, here's what we need. 1. Outline of the ITSM implementation plan. 2. Detailed plan for the first 6 months. And there are 2 things to remember: justification and measurements. Justification is as good as any important element in your plan. And measure. Measure, measure, measure. Measure how IT is supporting daily operations. Measure how we're progressing towards our objectives, especially the long-term ones. Measure processes, measure services, measure technology, right? So let's get started. Again, I don't have all the information on the other properties, but I'll help. So whatever you need, just ask. Oh, and James has arranged a high tea in your honor today. Good luck.
Okay, that's one example of 5 scenario videos. So at the end of each scenario, let's assume as a trainer you introduce this scenario via your explanation, via some slides, and via this video. Then the team start to work on the preparation of their presentation, which normally takes place in the late afternoon of the course day. And then the students should present it in professional briefings. Because Jonas is a hotel guy. He's not a techie guy, he's a hotel guy. So he's only interested in hotel and business language, not IT technical language. So the groups should use crisp and clear language in a presentation that takes normally 20 to 30 minutes. But that we leave it up to the instructor how long these presentations will take. So the scenario-based teaching and learning has been implemented by ITpreneurs. We use scenarios already, but not for this high percentage. This is the first time that we have an entire course based on scenarios. And each of these scenarios is connected with a strategic assignment and introduced through a video clip. And again, each scenario covers one or more topics from the syllabus. We do this to make sure that we are able to continue to achieve very high pass rates and good results. But we are not only preparing our students for the exams, no, we also want to make them better ITIL experts in their day-to-day job. So that's why we also have focus not only on the theory and the application of the theory, but also on their managerial skills. So during the preparation time, we coach the students in the form of questions and other type of guidance, and support them in creating a presentation that covers the necessary aspects. But also how they do it, how they organize and manage these scenarios, that's also one important aspect. And also they learn a lot from that. Absolutely. So overall, this course has a very strong relevance to practice, because in real life, when you get a scenario or an assignment from your manager, he is also not giving the complete picture the first time. No, you have to think and you have to realize, hey, I miss some important aspects. And what you're going to do then is you have to ask for it. If you don't have the information, then you should be able to find it or ask for it. And that's also the case here. So students, they should realize that they have to think first before they start working on it. And that's also enhancing their complete learning experience, the total picture. They grow a lot through this course. So the students are very highly engaged and very happy at the end, and that also will lead to very happy instructors and happy customers. So what does it mean for the instructors? Yeah, the instructor has to play also the role of Jonas, the balded guy, the technical manager. I'm not saying that you have to cut your hair, no, but try to position yourself as the technical manager of the hotel and what your responsibilities are. So make yourself familiar with the new case studies, as well the hotel, plus the APMG's case study. We use our own case study because our case study of the hotel chain is more complete and more complicated than the APMG ones. Although APMG is using their case study for the exam, we decided to use our own case study because that case study is more complicated and more complete. And by using a more complicated and more complete case study during the course, we also increase the level of difficulty for the students, and that will improve and enhance the chance that they are able to pass the exam. So in each session, they go through each scenario, explain each scenario, show the video of each scenario, and go through the handouts. The handouts is forming the additional information about the organograms, the reports of the various hotels, the service catalogs of the various hotels, etc., etc. So play with the theory, evaluate if the answers from learners make sense. They can all provide different answers, but all these answers can be correct. It all depends on the justification. The learners, they have to think, analyze, and ask, just as in real life. As an instructor, you can explain it in detail, but the students, they don't learn from it when you explain and explain. They have to think, they have to go through the materials together with the reference book, and they can use it, and they have to think and how to apply it. That's where they learn from, and that's also the purpose of MALC course. So we also give feedback on their managerial skills of the participants, how they prepare the assignments, how they communicate, cooperate, negotiate, and how they show leadership, and how they present the results. And also the trainers need to get the trainer session to make them well prepared for this course. So what does it mean for the learners? The learners, they have to deal with these scenarios. So they get a student handbook and a reference book. Starting with the reference book, in the reference book you will find the theoretical aspects. So all necessary theory based on the syllabus for the MALC course, they find it in the reference book. Including the ITIL glossary and the ITIL qualification scheme. The handbook consists of an overview, the scenario, the presentations that we use. So we use some slides. Also the students are having these slides. The scenario brief, so that's a written explanation of the introduction done by the instructor for that specific scenario. The hotel case study, the Royal Chow Hotel chain case study. Additional information like the handouts, also the APMG MALC Syllabus, the APMG's case study, and 2 sample exams. So it's a complete deck also for the students. How to deliver this MALC course? We have two variants. We have the traditional 5-day classroom course, so with a maximum number of students of 18, but that is too much. You want to split up the class into, let's say, reasonable groups, and the maximum size per group is 6. So the optimum size, maximum optimum size is 12. When you split up the class into bigger groups, then you also have the risk that some learners that are not really actively involved in the creation and the preparation of this scenario. When you have a quick group, a fast group, which is going through the scenarios quite quickly, that can happen, then you can also spend time on analyzing the APNG's case study. For example, let them do a SWOT analysis for the APNG's case study, and they can take a couple of questions for going through the sample exam. The second variant, that's a part of the expert program. In the expert program, we only have 2 days for the classroom sessions for MALC. It means that we don't have time to go through all 5 scenarios in classroom time. So the consequence of that is that in the pre-classroom time, so normally students use that time to go through the e-learning and theory again. So instead of going through the e-learning again, the students, they need to prepare the first 3 scenarios. By going through the first 3 scenarios and we enter the class, then they start with the presentation of these first 3 scenarios. The students can prepare these scenarios on an individual basis, but it's recommended also to work online or to work together in the team or with a group via an online community like Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. They also learn from each other, so it's important to cooperate and work in a team for the preparation of these assignments. And in class, we go through the last 2 scenarios. So the last 2 scenarios is the business case and the management of strategic change. So the first 3 scenarios for the blended course are prepared as pre-course activities. The presentation of the results takes place on the first day of the classroom course. But of course, we don't want to go through 48 presentations when you have a group of 16 people and each one has have prepared 3 presentations. No, so the instructor picks out 3 students, and one student presents the results of the first scenario, another student presents the results of the second scenario, and the third student presents the results of the third scenario. Maximum time of 30 minutes per presentation, and together with about 30 minutes of feedback will result in about 2 hours time on day 1 of the course. During the presentations, we have 2 groups in class. Of course, we have the instructor who plays the role of Jonas, and we have the presenting team, of course, which is presenting the results. But we also have an audience team, and the audience team, we want to make them more actively involved in the presentation. So at the time that the presenting team presents their results, the audience team is a member of the management team of the hotel. So they also should listen very actively to the presentation and ask questions. And they also should give advice to Jonas what to do with this solution. So they also are forced to evaluate and provide feedback and make sure that they stay sharp and actively involved instead of falling asleep at the end of the day. So summarizing, the ITIL MALC course transforms individuals to a high-performing strategic IT service management expert. The whole course is application-driven and will enhance their managerial skills. And the scenarios are based on real-life participative sessions and a series of scenarios. And they work together in teams, and also the leadership rotates. So it is a safe environment where the students are challenged to get out of their comfort zone and try out new things. So yeah, overall, this course facilitates learners to obtain the prestigious ITIL expert certification with an effective learning experience. This is really fun. Not only fun, but this is helping the students to make the next steps in their career and to improve their own performance in their own current job. I see there is a question. Okay, of course we can share these slides. Connie, you can take care about that. Okay.
Yes, we'll.
Good, thank you. Also for this course, we launched a trailer, and that trailer is available on YouTube, and that really gives a good impression of the dynamics and the whole atmosphere of the course. In the beginning, it is really chaos and stressful, but later on, when students are getting more engaged and more familiar with how the course goes, then it's going to be more fun and really successful. But I'm going to show you now this trailer, and enjoy, I must say.
Changing the game. ITpreneurs Next Generation MALC. ITpreneurs has been delivering innovative ITIL learning solutions for over 10 years. Get ready for ITpreneurs Hands-On MALC. A fast-growing business can mean big IT challenges.
More money? Do you have any idea how much money I spent buying these hotels all over the globe so far? And you want more?
The pressure is on.
That was your job. You were taking care of the necessary improvements needed in IT. You failed me.
IT is expected to create seamless strategic solutions for business.
Jonas, just do the magic.
And ITIL experts get the magic going.
Please come in. Hi, thanks for coming. Roger told me you did a fantastic job in his IT department. Please sit down. And he mentioned ITIL as well.
ITpreneurs is proud to introduce a game-changing approach to completing your ITIL expert qualification, our next generation MALC course.
You're doing a great job. You've invested your time well.
Scenario-based learning is the secret to your success in our MALC.
Look at the playing field you have at your disposal.
ITpreneurs' scenario-based approach is relevant, real-life learning. It's 95% applied learning, not just theory. And scenario-based learning is proven to improve MALC exam pass rates, meaning better ROI.
Time, as I say, is money. So I should say you have realized the value of money. Thank you, Harry.
Through 5 progressive scenarios, you gain intense, hands-on ITSM experience.
Your risk mitigation plans have made Harry happy.
And each day, there's an assignment that demands practical application.
Here's what we need. 1. Outline of the ITSM implementation plan.
Get ready to attain your ITIL expert certification with ITpreneurs game-changing next generation MALC.
Your plans make me feel that the sky is the limit for us now.
Find out more about ITpreneurs next generation MALC at itpreneurs.com/ITIL/MALC.
Fantastic, right? So hopefully you are enthusiastic already now after you have seen this trailer. But let us go through a couple of most asked questions. one of these questions is, how will the 2011 MALC affect students who started their ITIL expert path with 2007 books? Candidates now in the 2007 path can continue until the 2007 MALC is withdrawn, and that already takes place per September the 1st. So that is about 1.5 months. After the 1st of September, they have to take the 2011 MALC exam. Can students who studied the 2007 MALC syllabus take the 2011 MALC? Yes, they can. However, the candidates need to be aware that they would need to spend some time self-studying the differences of the syllabus coverage and exam format. It's not a big difference, but here and there are some small differences, like the additional frameworks like COVID, Six Sigma, etc. The differences between the 2007 MALC and the 2011 MALC syllabus. The 2011 qualification has a very strong focus on strategizing, planning, using and measuring ITIL practices in an integrated functioning model. So it is about connecting the various life cycle stages, process integration and interfaces, and how to use data, information and knowledge throughout the whole service life cycle. And in the 2007 MALC, has a learning unit understanding the complementary industry guidance and tools, like COVID, ISO 20000 and Six Sigma. That is not the case anymore in the 2011 MALC syllabus. Will students who took the capability track have a disadvantage with MALC? Now, actually, students from both tracks, as well the life cycle as the capability, they should be able to perform on the same level when you look to MALC. Because when you look to the life cycle courses and the capability courses, the same topic, when you look to the theory, are covered in both life cycle, in both intermediate tracks. Are there standard answers for each scenario? In the course materials for an instructor, we don't have fully written and detailed answer guidelines for each scenario. We did that because the students can provide 25, 30 different types of answers, but all these answers can be correct. It all depends on the justification. But what we really did is we created an answer rubric. So we created a rubric with the major topics that should be covered in these presentations. How they detailed that for each topic, that is up to the instructor to judge. The exam, by the way, is also a gradient scoring exam, just like the other intermediate courses. So we have the best question, the best answer gives you 5 points, the second best answer gives you 3 points, the third best 1 point, and the distractor 0 points. How do learners download the video? No special software. The video clips are in MP4 format. So students should be able to run these files, these videos on their PC or Mac or iPad or whatever. The video and the materials for instructors are available on my ITpreneurs. And the videos will be available via the online campus for the students. Webcam recommended for the blended sessions. It can happen that during the preparation time for the classroom course, in the blended course, that you need to organize a conference call or a virtual session. You can use WebEx or GoToMeeting for that. But still, it is difficult to monitor their soft skills. You cannot monitor them while they prepare these presentations. How they do it, it's impossible for you to manage that. So yeah, that's a little bit more difficult when you look to the virtual part of the blended course. So actually that was more or less what I wanted to talk about. Hopefully you are very enthusiastic about this new MALC course. Hopefully just as enthusiastic as I am, because this is going to be a big success, but also very different from other courses also when you look to our competitors. What are your questions? No other questions?
Marcel, this is Connie here. I think we have some questions on the question box.
Yeah, let's see. Have the names in the case study been modified to make them easier to pronounce? I think, yeah, overall, when you look to the various hotels, we have organograms per hotel. And I'm not sure if the other names are easier to pronounce. So that's hard to say. The other question was, can we get these webinar slides? And Connie is taking care about that. I don't see the question, Juan. What do you mean? You lost the connection? You can write an answer or unmute yourself. Okay, no reaction yet. Nice video. Thumbs up. Thank you. You mean, Juan, they are a challenge for some of the students in the US. You know, you mean the pronunciation of the names. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that. But yeah, the names are not important that they are pronounced well. So they can name it whatever they want. I cannot see the questions from other participants. No, and I cannot unmute. Okay. Let me see. I can try to unmute you. Okay, I think you all are unmuted now.
There we go.
So feel free to share your opinion, your first impression of this new MALC course.
It's going to be a challenge to learn how to teach it, but it looks really interesting.
Yes, yeah, actually it is not really teaching. You know, it's more coaching and facilitate. Because the students, they should have already a certain level of knowledge of the theory, and they have also the reference book available where they can look up the theory and provide answers that are going into the right direction. So as an instructor, I should not provide the answer immediately when the students have a question. No, I should redirect that question and force them to think about the questions they asked themselves, you know?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, it requires a different approach, but it is going to be nice. It's going to be challenging. Absolutely. Any other type of feedback so far? No? Then I want to hand it over again. Yes, go ahead, please.
So far, so good. I'm looking forward to the first opportunity to teach it.
Okay, fantastic. Good to hear. Then, in case that there are no other questions, I want to hand it over back again to my dear colleague, Connie. Connie, are you there?
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much for attending the session. And as Marcel mentioned, we will take care of sending you the recording of this webinar. That will also include the slide stands. And if you have other questions, feel free to contact either Marcel or me. All right. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you, and have a nice evening, a nice day and evening, and already a nice weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.